I'm back. Did you miss me? I can't hear you, so that's okay. Um, Today is my dad part three plus my stepmom. It's like Nintendogs plus cats. That's what we're talking about. Um, I did mention her a little bit before, and I guess I want to preface this by saying that we're good now. Um, so there's that. And that I think the main reason that we're good now is because I don't live with her anymore. Um, but that is besides the point. Um, Growing up with her was honestly horrible in a lot of ways, but it did lead to some really funny things. So I guess I'll start a little earlier before. Um, you all know my brother. You all know and love him. Um, he also never really got along with her, but she definitely hated me the most. She also has her own two children that live with me. So I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I have two stepbrothers. Literally don't speak to them really that much at all. The one's getting married in September, so I'm going to that. But anyway, my dad, he is a character. Between my mom and his current wife, he did he was very strange, and I feel bad. He was definitely hitting the saws a lot, as I discussed in part two. But he also like just would like serial foster dogs and then return them to the pound and then get a different like I think we went through like five or six dogs over the course of like a couple months. They would just live with us for a little bit. I remember this one we had Maggie. She was my favorite. Um, she was really sweet. I wish we didn't get rid of her. I don't know why we did for any of them. They were all good dogs. Um, but I don't know. I don't think that's right. But I was six, so I didn't really have like a say. I couldn't convince my dad that this is not a good thing to do. Um, and so that's just I don't know side plot, side quest for my dad there, I guess. But one of those dogs did destroy my door frame in my childhood room, and it still looks like that today. Uh, so I kind of think about that every time I see my door, which is every time I go over there. Um, so yeah, he dated quite a few women, and he would bring them home, and I mean, all right, yeah, you can figure out the rest, which was very awkward. Exposed me to that kind of thing very young. Another time we went to, oh my God, this is actually crazy. So, I'm not a watch till the end kind of guy, but do maybe do that because there's a bit of a twist. Um, Most notable of his interim girlfriends was this woman named Heather, um, who as a kid I also thought was like really attractive. So I don't know, but like that's not the thing. Um, so there's actually like two twists here. Um, One of the worst nights of my life as a kid. I was very shy. I hated going places as a kid. Um, like I mean I didn't hate going places, but I didn't like to be like especially around like older kids um like after school activities and stuff. If there were older kids, I wouldn't really want to do that. Um, but I did do like nerdy things like the chess club because they weren't that intimidating of people. I still love chess, by the way. We should play. Hit me up on chess.com. Um, but well, he brought me and my brother over to our house at like 7 o'clock at night on a school night, which was kind of weird. Um, and they both instantly got hammered. And she had two kids of her own, or something. Um, so they just got hammered and like passed out, and I just didn't know what to do. I was just in a strange house with nowhere to sleep or clothes. It was a really bad night. I kept going to my dad and be like, "Dad, when are we gonna go home?" And he'd be like, "Oh, soon, whatever." Um, my brother was fine. He just like played Lego Star Wars with her kids. I was too shy for that. Plus, there were only two controllers, so I couldn't really join. Oh, where did I end up sleeping? I don't know. Oh, I just went outside to the car. I just slept in the back seat, which, like, it's a really sad picture when you think of it, but I don't remember that much about it, so I don't care that much. Um, but a follow up to this, one time I did have friends, in like high school and stuff like that, and one of them was like, "Let's go hang out, come over to my house," and I said, "Okay." And they gave me the address, and I went there, and that was just the same house. Apparently, Heather had moved out, and now my best friend lived in her old house. And so when I got there, I just like shuddered, remembering that night. Um, but yeah, that's funny. But there's still another one later. Um, so I was like 6 for that. Um, I don't remember a lot of the other girlfriends because I just tried to stay in my room without hearing anything as much as I could. Um, and I really don't know where my brother was for a lot of these. I think that he had friends and he was always like spending nights at their houses because my dad had us on the weekends. So like he was always there at my mom's, but when it was like weekends, he would go hang out with friends and I would be home alone with dad, which sucked. Um, I mean, there were good times. I have a lot of good memories about my dad. Like on Friday night from school, he'd pick us up, we'd play mini golf and things like that. My dad tried his very best to be a good dad, and he was, actually, despite what I'm saying. Um, I'll never forget the mini golf days, and he took me roller skating and stuff like that. But anyway, back to the more funny stuff, I guess. I remember the first time that Tanya, my stepmom now, came to the house. She had one of her kids in like a little, what are those like things, like baby carrier things? That just like has a handle. It looks like a car seat with a handle on top. It was that, and she brought him in, and he was crying, and I thought he was a very cute baby. Um, he grew up to be like one of the worst people I know, unfortunately, but well, we'll let it slide, I guess. But what else? Well, okay, okay. So getting to this part, I remember completely just like flaming her in front of my dad one night, and my dad agreed with me, which was crazy. Um, so it was like her second night at our house, and it was dinner, and I took my plate to the sink, and she's like, "Why don't you clean up all our plates, Si?" or something like that. And I was like, I think I was like 6.5 at that point, going on like 7, and I was just like, "Why do you think you can tell me what to do?" Because she wasn't my mom, and like I wasn't trying to be like disrespectful, like rebellious, because like, oh, I'm not accepting this new woman, and like I just like genuinely didn't know who she was or why she was telling me that. I remember, and my dad was like, he has a good point. We should probably just parent our own kids and let their real mother and father, like. And I was like, wow, awesome. Um, I still did it because but like my dad made her like ask me, would you mind doing this instead? Which I also thought was nice because, you know, I don't get to be a total dick, and also she doesn't get to tell me that I need to do things unless it's a very obvious thing, like, hey, don't set the house on fire or something. No, she completely neglected that after only a few weeks. And I think a lot of my current self-esteem issues actually stem from her, and I think that's a lot for me to put on her. But I was like 6 to like 8 are like really, really formative years when you start to like process things, and my God, just like some of the stuff she like implanted in my mind. She like had this idea that she wanted me to believe that everyone around me like thought there was something wrong with me. Like she would always like get in these jabs like, this is why everyone thinks, like she literally said this quote one time. I was like, she was taking us shopping to go grocery shopping and whatever, and I was like skipping in the parking lot, 6 years old by the way, and she was like, so I know this is why everyone thinks you have problems. And I just remember like stopping, and I just like I walked away, and I looked at like the little Pokemon gotcha dispensers for some reason they had there, and I was just very bummed. Cause like, what do you mean everyone? Like everyone thinks there's like something wrong with me? What does that mean? And then I was also held back in kindergarten, which I think holding back is one of the worst things you can do to a person. Just instantly instill in them that they're not good enough to keep up with their peers, and that has always stuck with me. Even like into high school, if people like ask why I'm a year older, and I just say, "Oh, I got held back," and they would like literally look at me like differently. Um, but so that was already something that happened like right around that time, and so there was that. Like yeah, and another thing, like I remember I was going through sorting my Pokemon cards, and I had them all over the floor in the basement, which is the kids' room, by the way. Adults like didn't. It was like an old nasty, musty basement where only kids would be, and I left a bunch of my cards out. She was like, "You need to clean those up." I was like, "Okay, whatever, fair, I guess." I was like 7 now. Went down there and got a bunch, but I accidentally like left a bunch of cards like in the crack under the couch. This is why everybody thinks you're an idiot, Sai. You can't even clean. Like she was really mean that time, like really, really mean, and I don't know why. I just really don't know why. Um, and I really think because my dad loved me, it bothered her, like, which is unhinged, but like it's just got to be that, like, because I don't know. Um, and her own kids were absolute train wrecks. One of them grew up to be a very good stand-up guy. Um, the other one, I think he's trying now, but he has done some of the worst things I can imagine with a fully developed brain that I just kind of gave up like caring about him and his issues. And I'll probably talk about that another point, but I'm kind of scared of my family like seeing these videos weirdly. I know I'm not like viral, but I mean, I just use my first and last name here, so anyone can just find them. But I will probably talk about them at another point. But she was completely oblivious to their own. Like, I'll give you a hint, or not a hint, like a little example of what I mean by this. Um, One time, the one that I'm speaking of, he was like smoking weed in the house, like in the bathroom and stuff, and it made the whole house smell like complete shit. And I was annoyed by it, so I finally just took his stash and I gave it to his mom, and I was like, "Here you go. He's smoking weed in the house, by the way." And she was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, he was like a minor, by the way. He was like 15. Um, a normal parent would like be very upset about this, and I thought maybe she was. She was like, "Oh, okay, I'll deal with this." Literally nothing changed, and then my dad actually put pressure on her, and then she grounded him, finally. And then what happened was he posted on his Snapchat story, "Hey everyone, just so you know, my mom caught me with marijuana, which he spelled with a W, in the house, so I can't hang out for a couple weeks." And then she had a meltdown because, not because she like realized that her son was doing drugs in their home, but because all the other moms found out from that post that uh, she was like, "Oh, I don't want the other moms to think that my house is the one the kids shouldn't be at." And then she just like laid on the couch for like 4 hours, just like it was so fucking pathetic. Like it makes me mad to think about because like literally she would crash out on me as a kid for things like that. And like things, no, not things like that. Things that were like I left a couple Pokemon cards on the couch. Like really, I, whatever. Another example of that would be like I was sick one day, and we have an upstairs bathroom and a downstairs bathroom at my dad's house. My house is kind of weird. When you walk in, there's like 4 steps to a living room. So on that bottom floor, it's like flush with the ground and stuff. And then our living room is like 4 steps above that. Then right next to the stairs, the 4 stairs, there's the actual staircase to go upstairs. So there's a bathroom to the left there, and then there's a bathroom literally directly the floor below it. So if you like fell to the toilet on the top floor, you'd land on the toilet on the bottom floor, basically. Um, the only difference is that one of them is like 4 stores away, and the other is like 15. I said stairs. One's 4 stairs away, and one's 15. And I was sick. Also, the upstairs has carpet, and everything has carpet except for that bottom floor. So that's important for what I'm about to say. I was sick, and like I realized I was about to vomit. So I got up and I ran down the stairs, the 4 stairs, because that bathroom was there, onto the hard floor, and I did not make it. And I ended up just puking on the floor, the hard floor. Um, and she freaked out because this is what she said: "You didn't even try to make it." She kept saying that over and over. My brother still remembers that, and he's still like we're playing, I don't know, like basketball or something, and I'll make a shot. He'll just be like, "Sai, you didn't even try to make it," and it's, he's referencing that, and it's funny, but and we couldn't figure out why she was like crashing out on me for that. And then even my stepbrother, one we didn't really get along that much then, was like, "Mom," like, he was very close. He's like, "What?" And then like she couldn't. It's so weird. It's like a neurological issue. Like she thought that I was trying to make it upstairs for something. Like she didn't fathom the fact that there's a toilet downstairs for me to vomit into. I don't get it. And then she was apologetic, but she literally made me sit on the couch for like 2 hours. She was like, "I don't want you to leave this couch. I want to put a garbage can here, and you're gonna sit here, because anywhere else and you'll just throw up on the floor again." Uh, which I get, like cleaning up a kid's vomit is not fun. First of all, it was all like water, and second of all, it was on the hard floor. All you had to do was like mop it up and then like, I don't know, spray a little cleaner on it. Like, and I could have just cleaned it up too if you asked. I was capable at that point. I was like 10, so whatever. But she made me sit on the couch for like 2 hours without anything to do, which is like really messed up a little bit. Like, and yeah, she thought I was trying to go to the upstairs toilet. That is so weird. Like, she just like could not connect in her brain that there were two toilets or something. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. Um, so big W to my stepbrother for like asking her that. Man, this video has gotten long. Okay, I guess there might be enough of this content for a part 4. My last dad video did pretty well. And honestly, I like talking about my dad and stepmom. That, like, the stepmom jokes are very common in my friend group. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, so my dad. Well, not my dad. Like 5 years ago or so, I ended up joining a friend group which my brother's in. So that's kind of why I'm still pretty close to my brother, but not lately. That situation's still going, but so it was, my friends Curtis, Chandler, Levi, very basic friend names, but whatever. I was talking to Chandler one night, and he had mentioned his mom, Heather. You see where I'm going. I was like, hold on. And then I had like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. And I was like, Chandler, like, is your mom, like Heather, like the one that my dad like banged? And then we all kind of found out that, yeah, Chandler was the kid that my brother was playing Lego Star Wars with. And we just like were at his house that night. So that was fun. It was like a weird random connection that just happened. I live in a small town. It's like my catchphrase of this video channel anymore, but so that was fun. Same house twice, and friend again. So a lot of connections to that person. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I'm serious about the chess match. I will play chess with you, and I will lose, but I would love to do that. So peace, my friends, and talk to you later. Bye.